Well, we're here with the men's soccer team for the 2017 season. It's hard to believe, Coach, we are in our 6th season of competition here. It just seems like yesterday we were starting this thing up.
It certainly does. It does seem like time has gone by very quickly.
Now, I know at the very early stages of the soccer program, you brought your coaching philosophy in, but what were some of the things that you wanted your soccer team to be known for, kind of the pillars of your program?
Excellence on and off the field. I wanted hard work and discipline, and I think that carries over on the pitch as well as off the field.
Now, as you were recruiting guys and getting guys to come to to join that first team, I know didn't have a lot of time to do a ton of recruiting, but what were the types of players that you were looking for? What were the qualities that you were looking for in that initial class?
Really, guys that are excited about the opportunity to be here and play, and nothing's really changed about that. We're looking for quality players still, quality players that want to be here. They're excited to be challenged academically, athletically, and spiritually.
Obviously the program has grown. I mean, we won a national championship last year and many other accolades and those kinds of things. But as you look back, what are some of the things, not necessarily in competition, but what are some of the things that you're most proud of?
I don't know. I really enjoy the time in the spring. We get to go up to the Wilds and help out with a work day. They're great to host us up there. They're so kind, and our guys and working together. A mission trip to Brazil, the number of our guys were able to take a couple years ago. Those are just a couple of things that really stand out to me.
You took the question right out of my mouth because, I know you preach it to your guys, you preach it to everybody else who talks about the program, but, soccer is the game, but you want so much more in using it to glorify God. So talk about some of those, ways that you encourage the guys in terms of ministry and other ways.
Yeah, well, it's certainly a big platform. So, like I said, whether it's a Brazil mission trip or whether it's going to the Wilds or whether this semester having a chance to help out down at the Croc Center for guys that are able to, some of their guys just involved in local church or even other opportunities on campus within the student body and in the community.
As you talk to new players that are coming in, a lot of them, play in high school, play club soccer, that kind of thing. But what do you think is the most difficult transition from a high school or club player to come and play at the college level?
Probably the mental aspect of the game. It's one thing to enjoy the game. It's another thing to be mentally in it and consistent with the training and the workload demands of the athletics and also academics.
All right, we're going to have a little bit of fun here, Coach. I'm going to put you on the spot. We've got a great group of guys behind us, but we're going to find out kind of some of the things that happen, road trips, other places like that, okay? So random kind of rapid fire questions for you. You go to a restaurant, who's eating the most food?
Isaac, yeah. I'd have to say Isaac, yeah.
Okay. Who would you say kind of the team class clown or the guy that makes everybody laugh?
Marvell's always putting a grin on everyone's face. That's for sure. There's other guys that fit in there as well. But
okay. This one might be a tad embarrassing. Who would you say you wouldn't want to sniff their shoes after the game?
I say Isaac. It has to be one of the keepers. Between the goalie gloves and
the goalie
shoes,
gloves are the worst.
They just all go together.
They're absolute worst. All right, Coach. Well, we're going to talk to some of the players here. We've got Stephen Greider. Now's a chance for us to talk a little bit about Coach. I mean, he's all the way over there, so he can't hear you. So, you've been playing here 3 seasons now, going into the 4th season. What is it about Coach McCormick that's special playing for Coach?
The spiritual leadership that he instills in the team. It's very encouraging to come to a program that promotes spiritual leadership and spiritual excellence.
All right, thanks a lot, Stephen. We're going to step over here to Marvell and talk a little bit about, you're one of the veteran players as well, captain this year, All-American last year. But I want to talk a little bit, as Coach mentioned, about the ministry side of things, because I know that's something that's very important to you. Soccer, obviously, a very important sport to you at a young age, but at what point did you start to see, this is something God has gifted me with that I can use to influence other people?
I think it all started when I came to camp here, because all throughout high school and playing club soccer, it was all about the soccer side of it. But when I came here for soccer camp, how everything was Christ-centered, and I realized how we could use soccer for a platform. You go all around the world, people do play soccer and they care about soccer, and realize that it's a platform. And we went to Brazil last summer and seeing all those kids, how into soccer they were, and they were willing to listen right after we played soccer. So that's when it all started.
Yeah. What was it like being on that mission team and being able to, to come? And I know when I've traveled to a foreign country, sometimes you get those kids running up thinking you're some kind of, professional athlete or something like that. So just the abilities that you had down there and the ministry opportunities that you had down there.
It was awesome. It was awesome. Just being down there. I remember the second day we went to the jail ministry. And while we were over there, we were hearing all about, what the kids were in there for, and then afterwards being able to share the gospel with them, being able to share my testimony with them, and singing in Portuguese with them, and it was just awesome, and it was a trip that I'll never forget.
Now, as one of the leaders on the team, you can kind of set the tone both on the field and off the field. What as a player, what do you try to do to make sure that you're leading by example?
Excelling in the small details. I think that's where it starts. When I do need to wear my shin guards before coach even says anything, and just coming out here, start warming up before he even says anything. It all starts in the small details. And when you're doing that and the guys see that, they pick it up too.
Awesome. Well, we will move down the line here. We got Donovan, we got Petey, and we got the rest of the crew here, Will. And so, Donovan, I'm speaking to you particularly of, you were one of those players that came in, reserve player last year, and obviously with the number of guys that we had graduating, as you look to those older players, what are some of the things that you learned from upperclassmen last year?
Something really big that I learned is to play with confidence. As a freshman, you're coming in and the speed of play is much faster than you've experienced in high school and club soccer, but these guys are very confident on the ball, moving it around, and they're very good at decision making. It makes you want to be that kind of player, and makes you work harder to be like them. So. As
you come in, now you're not the freshman. You're a sophomore. You're looking to influence the new guys who are coming in. And you have almost a leg up in the sense that you were just there last year. So how do you influence those new players who come in and kind of set the tone for them?
A big part of the game is communication, and coming in as a freshman, I probably wasn't the best at that. You come in, you think you don't have much to say. These guys know what they're doing. But, it really starts, you can start any time, and it's to have the confidence, it really helps out your play and touch as well. So that's a big part that I want to sort of be a leader for them in that way.
Excellent. All right, Petey, I'm going to talk to you because you had a nose job last year. That's what didn't allow you to play a good part of the season. But talk about that experience a little bit, because I know you came in and anxious to play, that kind of thing, and ended up having to sit a majority of the season. So what do you think God taught you during that time of kind of having to wait and watch?
Yeah, definitely. It was a great experience. A lot of lessons learned coming into the season. I'm really excited about playing. You always dream of playing college soccer. And coming in, getting injured right off the bat, it's definitely hard. But I was able to look back at the things I had learned earlier that summer. I was at camp, and some of the different things, like God is good all the time, and just going through the story of Joseph and Daniel and all these different stories where you see that no matter what, God is good even when we can't understand and when we can't see it. And so that was definitely an encouragement, and I was able to use that again this summer as I was back at the Wilds, just sharing that with campers and trying to influence them and show them that truly God is good, even when we can't see it.
You mentioned being a counselor at the Wilds. I know that a lot of the guys on the team are involved in different ministries over the course of the summer. And, as you get to talk with a teenager or talk with a camper or something like that, what's one thing that you really try to instill in them based upon your experience in collegiate athletics?
Well, absolutely. Playing intercollegiate soccer, it definitely gives you a platform. Kids automatically look up to you. And it's really cool that they'll listen to you because of that. But just instilling in them the fact that their relationship with God comes first. And that's definitely something that we focus on as a team, because if we're not having a relationship with God, it's going to show on the field in our reactions to whether it's a bad call or not getting as much playing time as we want. So that relationship with God overflows onto the field and our responses and our actions on the field.
All right, Petey, I'm going to have you switch places with Will because I don't think my cord's going to reach all the way over there. Will, let's talk a little bit about just the experience of a student athlete. One of the things that I know a lot of people wonder about student athletes is how do you balance practice, road trips, games, all, weightlifting, conditioning, all that kind of stuff, and then put academics on top of that. How do you do it?
Well, it's definitely a challenge. Playing intercollegiate soccer is a big time commitment. We have practice every day, things, games, stuff usually going on the weekend as well. So it takes a lot of discipline to be able to excel, to perform well in the classroom and on the field. Disciplining your time, not letting yourself slack off or, not take care of stuff that needs to be done.
All right, I'm going to ask one because we had some fun at the players' expense. I want to have some fun at coach's expense as well, okay? So anybody that can answer, if coach has to choose where we go to eat after a road game, where are we going?
Jason's Deli.
Jason's Deli. Man, that was quick. Now, I know, just from athletic events, that coach can really put away some food. Anybody have a story to tell of when coach, shut down a place in terms of?
I one time witnessed him eat 5 pizzas.
5 pizzas. Wow. That's a
lie.
All right, that's the men's soccer team. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It's been great to get to know you a little bit better, kind of off the field, out of competition. Thanks so much again, guys.